everyone! If you enjoy the video, please leave a like and comment what type of content you would like to see next time. Also, only a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you end up liking the video, consider subscribing. Check out the Patreon in the video description for more stories by my team. Enjoy the video!
He only had one option. Fine, you can do my hair tomorrow, Dennis said, firmly. Kylie smiled and started swiping through her camera roll. Of course I could probably send 1 or 2 pictures out with data if I really wanted to. Okay, you can do my hair now, just keep those pictures to yourself. Dennis pleaded, please. Yay, and don't worry, tomorrow won't be that much worse. Oh, I wonder if we have a pair of heels in the house that'll fit you. Kylie started to skip towards the stairs. Coming, dear sister. Dennis held his head low with shame as he stood up and followed Kylie upstairs. As he entered Kylie's room, she motioned towards the chair in front of her vanity. Dennis complied and Kylie began to play with his hair. You've always had such great hair, I've always wanted to do something to it, Kylie said. Dennis' hair was, like Kylie's, long and blonde, but while Kylie had their mother's straight hair, Dennis had gotten their father's curly hair, so the longer it got, the more unruly it got, so he tended to keep it in a low ponytail. Kylie eagerly removed the hair tie and reached over to the vanity for her already plugged-in hair straightener, but Dennis quickly grabbed her wrist. Hold on, this is a lot more permanent than nail polish. Dennis said, not really, if you wash your hair a few times it'll pretty much go back to normal. Kylie said, besides, you don't really have a choice here. Dennis began to speak, but closed his mouth and scowled instead, releasing Kylie's wrist. Before grabbing the straightener, she popped over to her bed and picked up the magazine she'd been reading before, handing it to Dennis. Here, read this, it'll help keep your mind off it, and maybe you won't interrupt me as much. Remember, the faster I'm done, the faster this is all over. Kylie said. Dennis nodded and idly flipped through the magazine. There wasn't much of interest to him in it. Pages advertising perfumes, clothing and shoes, a few articles, but even the pages with models on them didn't really hold his attention. Kylie continued to straighten and brush her brother's hair, making sure not to miss a single strand. Eventually, Dennis looked up at the mirror and gasped, seeing his curly locks were much longer when straightened, and his short ponytail had given way to hair that was far more similar to Kylie's than he'd have liked. Looks great, right? Kylie asked. Dennis was surprised at how big a change occurred from just straightening his hair. Truthfully, Dennis hadn't been endowed with much in the way of facial hair, a quirk of genetics, since their father's facial hair was perennially patchy as well. Before Kylie could do anything else, however, the siblings heard a car outside, and moments later, the front door opened. Kids, we're home. Their mother shouted from downstairs. We picked up dinner on the way. I hope you're in the mood for pizza. Their father shouted. Be right down, Kylie exclaimed, before handing Dennis back his hair tie. Here you go. Thanks, Dennis muttered as he pulled his hair back into its familiar ponytail. Meet you downstairs, don't forget socks, Kylie joked as she headed out of the room. Dennis headed back to his room and picked up a pair of socks that wouldn't reveal his painted toenails, and headed downstairs for dinner. As they ate, they discussed their days, with Dennis and Kylie omitting particular details of their day. The internet's out, a power surge fried the router, so the company is sending a truck out tomorrow to fix it, Dennis said, in between bites. Oh dear, how did you kids get along without the internet? Their mother joked. It wasn't easy, it was pretty boring, but Dennis and I watched a movie together. Kylie said. That's nice, I'm glad you're doing things together. Their mother replied. Yeah, I figured without the internet you'd be at each other's throats. Their father chuckled. Come on, Dad, we're mature enough to handle ourselves, right, Dennis? Kylie asked, winking at Dennis. Right. Dennis replied quickly. Satisfied with their answer, the conversation soon turned to the rough day at the office that their father had, before dinner concluded and everyone went their separate ways for the night. If either of their parents had noticed Dennis' hair, neither let on. Before turning in for the night, Dennis passed Kylie's room, spotting her digging through her closet. For what? Dennis didn't stick around to find out, but it didn't inspire him with confidence about what would happen the next morning. Dennis did make an attempt to find a bottle of nail polish remover, to at least remove the potential for further blackmail material, but it seemed that Kylie had already taken care of that, having anticipated Dennis' idea. As such, it took Dennis a long time to fall asleep as his mind raced, wondering just what Kylie had in store for him and just how he managed to get blackmailed by his younger sister. The next morning, Dennis stirred awake as he felt something touching his foot. He sat up and pulled his foot back, allowing Kylie to pull off one of his socks. "Wakey wakey, sleepyhead. It's time to get ready for the day," Kylie sang. "Mom just left, so it's time to play." "Go away." Dennis, squinting his eyes, kicked his foot towards Kylie, but she artfully dodged him. "Well, if that's how you want to be, I bet I can find a good use for these photos," Kylie giggled. Dennis' eyes shot open and he attempted to make a grab for Kylie's phone, but failed. "No, don't," Dennis shouted, before sighing. "What do you want me to do?" "I want you to take a shower, use my shampoo and body wash, and my Nair, unless you want to try your luck with a razor," Kylie said. "Hold on, nail polish and hair straightening is one thing, but shaving my body? That's too far," Dennis said. "Oh, relax, hair grows back. Besides, it's not like you've got that much leg hair anyway." Dennis rolled his eyes at that comment. Much like his face, the combination of poor genetics and blonde coloring made it patchy at best. "All right, fine, but can you promise you won't do anything else drastic?" Dennis begged. "I think that can be arranged." Kylie smiled. "Now, Denise, it's time for your shower. I've left my robe in there. Once you're finished, meet me back in my room and I'll help you get dressed." Dennis did as he was told, going into the bathroom, where indeed, Kylie's pink terrycloth robe was hanging prominently on the back of the door. He turned on the shower and stripped out of his clothes, his shiny pink toenails taunting him as a reminder of the fact that, at least until the internet came back, he was at Kylie's mercy. "Well, let's get this over with." Dennis stepped into the shower. For the most part, the shower was fairly normal, just a different scent than his usual clean, fresh or sport soaps. In this case it was a flowery lilac scent. Using the depilatory was a new experience, but once he read the instructions, Dennis knew how to use it. What really concerned Dennis was Kylie's behavior. Sure, they were siblings and siblings do stuff to embarrass each other or mess with them, but he hadn't known Kylie to be as devious as she currently was. A prank is one thing, blackmail is out of character. Unfortunately, his ruminations were interrupted by a knock on the bathroom door. "Hurry up, dear sister. I've got a big day planned," Kylie shouted. "I'll be right out," Dennis shouted back. Dennis quickly finished up the shower and toweled off, shivering due to the lack of body hair combined with the cold linoleum floor of the bathroom. After drying off as best he could, Dennis put on the fluffy pink robe and opened the bathroom door, where Kylie was eagerly waiting. "Don't worry, you're going to look great by the time I'm done." Kylie grabbed her brother's hand and dragged him into her room. Kylie started digging around in her drawers, purely for show. Dennis knew that she'd have already chosen what he'd be wearing by now. As Dennis waited, he shivered again, reminding him of his shaved body. "Can you hurry it up?" Dennis demanded. "Ooh, someone's excited to wear my clothes," Kylie giggled. "Here, put these on, I'll turn around." Kylie handed Dennis a matching bra and panty set, both pink, much to his chagrin. He turned them over in his hands. "Is a bra really necessary?" Dennis asked. "I dunno, is keeping those pictures a secret really necessary?" Kylie retorted. "Touché," Dennis sighed. "Turn around." Kylie complied and Dennis let the robe fall to the floor, before quickly putting on the unfamiliar undergarments. He fumbled with the bra, but soon figured out how to fasten it. The tricky part was getting himself stuffed into the panties, but with some effort, he figured out how to keep himself contained within them. "All right, are you happy?" Dennis asked. "Immensely," Kylie replied. "Now, let's see, I like this dress, but this skirt is cute." And after a few more minutes of hemming and hawing as Dennis stood in the center of Kylie's room, with the padded bra providing the illusion of cleavage, which Dennis noted as he glanced in the mirror. Okay, I've got your outfit right here." Kylie presented Dennis with a bundle of clothing. Dennis looked through the bundle, which consisted of a white tank top and a skirt adorned with multicolored flowers. Dennis grumbled a bit, but only to hide his relief that she hadn't chosen one of the formal dresses that he'd seen her wear in the past. Once he had gotten the high-waisted skirt and tank top on, he squirmed uncomfortably. Almost done, Kylie grabbed some socks and stuffed them into the cups of the bra. Perfect. Now, take a seat. Kylie motioned to the chair in front of the vanity, and Dennis sat down, sighing. With a blow dryer and brush in hand, Kylie made quick work of getting her brother's hair into a similar style as it had been the previous day. Dennis watched, slightly in awe, as his wet stringy hair, which he usually didn't do much with, transformed into soft, shiny locks that reached past his shoulders. "You know, you've got really nice hair, it's a shame you keep it tied up all the time," Kylie muttered. "I guess," Dennis replied, but couldn't help but silently agree with what his sister had said. "Okay, and now for the fun part, makeover time." Kylie grabbed her makeup bag and started going to work before Dennis could object. Dennis, already exhausted from his previous attempts to get Kylie to let up, decided to just let it happen. The sooner it did, the sooner it would be over, so while he wasn't happy about it, he let Kylie apply a generous coating of gloss to his lips, a bit of blush to his cheeks, and some mascara to his eyelashes. Again, Dennis was thankful, since much like with the outfit, he'd expected a lot worse. While it wasn't that dramatic, Dennis did realize that he had a lot more resemblance to Kylie than he'd thought previously, enhancing features they'd both inherited from their parents. One last thing, Kylie approached Dennis with a pair of tweezers in hand, but Dennis quickly ducked out of the way. "Come on. You said nothing permanent." Dennis stood up and backed away from Kylie. "I'm just going to clean them up a bit, or are you growing a unibrow on purpose?" Kylie motioned to the mirror. Dennis got closer and looked at his face in the mirror, noticing a lot of stray hairs in between his eyebrows. It wasn't something he'd ever noticed before, but now that he saw it, it was very noticeable. "Okay, fine, but just the stray hairs." Dennis sat down once more. "Don't worry, I know what I'm doing." Kylie moved the tweezers back towards her brother's face. Unfortunately, Kylie was a tad overconfident in her abilities, so after plucking a few too many hairs from one eyebrow, she had to repeat the same on the other. Keeping Dennis from seeing the mirror, Kylie assured her brother, "Don't worry, it looks fine." "Mostly," Kylie said. "Mostly?" Dennis pushed Kylie out of the way to look in the mirror. Dennis' jaw dropped open as he saw that his eyebrows had been shaped into a very feminine style, something that could take weeks to grow back to normal. "Hey guys, what do you think of the story so far? Part 3 coming tomorrow. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.